Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt, Jonathan Williams, CEO and Chief Economist of the American Legislative Exchange Council, who always triggers me by keeping a little statue of Michigan there on his desk behind him. If you go to that shot, we'll show it. It's outlined in red over there to his left. But Jonathan has made up for that because ALEC is a sponsor, and he's decided to actually shine a light on the great state of Ohio this week. Jonathan, I am very glad you finally come to see the light. And I was stunned to learn that for the first time since 1960, Ohio has in-migration. People are moving there.
It's an incredible turnaround story. And, you really have to look at where the leadership now is in the Ohio legislature. We have Senate President Rob McCauley, who sits on the ALEC board of directors. We have Speaker Matt Huffman, a conservative that has now taken over as Ohio Speaker. And the results speak for themselves. I mean, you look at what Ohio has done just in the last number of months now, whether it is the flat tax that you and I have talked briefly about it, at 2.75%, Ohio joining this flat tax revolution across the country, where states around in the entire Midwest have been flat tax states. Kentucky's got it in current law. They're going to actually repeal their personal income tax over time. So Ohio is falling behind in the region, and they realized that, and they took corrective action. And one of those pieces is you don't have to listen to academics or economists who talk about this. When you're losing population to the other 49 states, like Ohio did for 40 years without interruption, there's something wrong there. And Ohio's lost something like 8 or 9 congressional seats in the U.S. House as a result of that. They need to do something differently. And guess what? Because of the education freedom, the universal school choice, that flat tax, and several other very important reforms, now Ohio is on the brink of once again gaining population, and just did for the first time a couple of years ago. And continual free market reforms like this are going to be exactly what it needs to continue to move in that right direction.
Jonathan, one of the things Ohio has is a great university system led by the Ohio State University, Miami University, other great schools like Bowling Green and Kent. I am curious, when you do rich states, poor states, do you look not just at the quality of the schools, but at how much it costs to go to them?
Yes, I mean, that's an important aspect, right? And is directly tied to the tax burden of a state. So, yeah, I guess we do look at that in that respect. One of the things that I should mention specifically is our good friend Senator Serino in the Ohio Senate, led an approach to really bring higher ed reform this year as one of the first Senate bills out of the gate to get this horrible ideology of DEI and other things that distract away from the core educational mission of these universities. And that was something that they passed through this new legislature, and I think really stacks up with some of these other major reforms that Ohio has gotten done. And I'm not blowing smoke here today, Hugh, to just appease you as the Michigan guy talking good things about Ohio. I actually think Ohio has had one of the very best pro-taxpayer sessions of any state in the country this year.
I also want to flag, because you flagged it for me, I did not know that they had reformed the fiduciary responsibilities concerning the Ohio Pension Fund, which is, unlike California, not direly in need of massive overhaul or benefit cuts because of unfunded pension liabilities. Tell us about the fiduciary responsibility upping.
Well, this is an area where we at ALEC have spent a whole lot of attention over the years, and our good friend Andy Puzder, now ambassador to the EU under President Trump, helped us with this. States have difficult enough time trying to keep their pensions funded because of the defined benefit model, because of the markets, the ups and downs. It's hard enough to make money when you're trying to make money in the market. Now, when states like California and New York and others start to put politics in the investment piece, whether that's ESG investing or divesting from oil and gas or gun manufacturers or whatever industry they don't like, it's nearly impossible to keep their state pensions funded and keep those benefits flowing to hardworking government employees that are counting on that at retirement. And so this model fiduciary duty bill says that Ohio passed says basically you just need to focus on returns. That's what you need to do as a fiduciary, and you're managing other people's money. It's fine if we in our 401ks individually want to pick our own stocks and we take the own risk on ourselves. But if you're a fiduciary and managing others' money, especially at the public interest of taxpayer money for public employees, you must have the sole duty to maximize returns within that given time frame. And that's a common sense policy that now is passed in over 10 states based on this ALEC model.
Good for that model. The one thing you left off of this list of things to talk about, Jonathan, is that the Guardians have taken 2 in a row from the Tigers and have closed it with 4.5 in the Central Division, but I'll bring that up next week. Missouri, got to turn to the show me state. They got rid of capital gains. I salute them for doing that. Do other states have that on their agenda?
Well, I think they're going to. I mean, I think once this picks up more attention to say if you earn capital gains in the state of Missouri, you're not going to pay state income tax on it, it's going to pick up steam. I mean, Washington state moved the wrong direction on this and actually created a state capital gains income tax when they don't have a broad income tax. Missouri moved in the right direction to say, guess what? We want more of something. When you want more of something, you tax it less. That's the key basics of competitive tax policy. And that's exactly what they did. They're the first state out of the gate to repeal the capital gains tax while still having another income tax on the books. Now, as you know, Hugh, New Hampshire and Tennessee had the asterisks where they were no income tax states on wage income, and more recently eliminated their interest and dividend type taxes, so they're truly income tax free. But I think this is going to be a down payment for Missouri as they look to repeal the personal income tax altogether under Governor Kehoe next year.
That is a celebration. I want to make sure we finish by celebrating the 50th anniversary of the legendary Laffer curve. And Arthur Laffer has a long-time relationship with ALEC, does he not?
He does. 18 years of writing the Rich States, Poor States book with us. Also, many more years of coming out and being just a great inspirational speaker for our attendees. Really these ideas, so much shaped the Reagan Revolution, the Trump Revolution, and tax policy debates, not only across the states, but around the world. And it's back to common sense tax policy. When you cut tax rates, you're going to see more economic activity. You're going to see more people and more businesses moving to that locality. And guess what? At the end of the day, you don't lose the revenue that the green eye shade types, whether it's the CBO at the federal level or the state level, say you're going to lose on a static basis. Because guess what? People are not trees, as my good friend Governor George Allen likes to say. They're dynamic, they move, they change their behavior based on things like taxes.
Always good to talk to you, Jonathan, especially when we're talking about Ohio. But an outline of Ohio will fit exactly on that space to your right. You can keep Michigan, but you could put Ohio exactly in there. It would fit. Jonathan Williams of ALEC, ALEC.org, ALEC.org/Hugh to get the State of the State newsletters. And if you want your free copy of Rich States, Poor States, go to richstatespoorstates.com, richstatespoorstates.com. Come right back.